Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guess what day it is? Star Wars fans, what is up? Oh my goodness. You will never guess what happens in 4-ish short hours. You will never guess what happens. Actually, it's a little more than 4 hours, but you'll never guess what happens in 4 hours, give or take a few hours, because it's 7 hours. The Mandalorian Season 3 is here. The Mandalorian Season 3 is here. Okay? And now that's not the only thing we have to talk about. It's not the only thing we have to talk about. We got some other things to talk about today, like possibly a Luke, Leia, and Han Solo series of mini films on Disney Plus, which would be insane. A Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which again would be insane. We got a whole lot to talk about. And of course, we're going to predict what we think is happening in tomorrow's episode of The Mandalorian Season 3. Yes, that's right. The Mandalorian Season 3 is back. It's back. Now, this is absolutely wild, and I absolutely cannot wait. It's finally here. All the waiting that we've had to do as Star Wars fans, it is here. Now we're going to predict what we think is going to happen. We're going to predict the Bad Batch episode, and I know the Bad Batch, blah, 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 blah. We're going to predict the Bad Batch episode. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff today on stream, so let's have some fun with it. Of course, smash like if you like this video, of course, to support the channel. We got a lot of things to talk about regarding Mando merch that we got coming out tonight. You guys will be the first to see it. We got a lot of things to do today. So without further ado, let's start with the Bad Batch because it's the least of our concerns and nobody really even cares at all. Okay, let's start with the Bad Batch. Let's start with the Bad Batch, okay? So the next episode for the Bad Batch. Now you might be like, oh, the episode for the Bad Batch, who cares? The Bad Batch has been very slow, and I will grant you that. However, even with it being as slow as it is, there is still an episode of the Bad Batch that comes out tomorrow. And I know a lot of people are like, why would they release the Bad Batch and the new episode of The Mandalorian at the same time? Because the Bad Batch has already been doing such crappy numbers, and now all the people who watch the Bad Batch are just going to go watch The Mandalorian Season 3. And you're completely right. You're 100% right. 100%. 100% right. But we still got to talk about it because episode 11 of season 2 of The Bad Batch is still coming out tomorrow. And it is called Metamorphosis. Now, honestly, at this point, with The Bad Batch, the way it's been going, I would not be surprised if Metamorphosis is some weird thing that Omega does. Like she just somehow ends up in a cocoon or something, and then just or she's some type of plant or something that goes through metamorphosis. I honestly wouldn't be all that surprised. But if we're being serious, I don't know. I honestly don't know. We sit here every Tuesday, try to predict the next episode for the Bad Batch, and since like episode 2, we haven't been able to predict anything because it's the Bad Batch, and it hasn't been giving us anything. Like literally nothing. Of the 10 episodes that we've gotten so far, you can only argue about 1 or 2 are not filler. Like only 2 of them, and I would say episode 7 and episode 8 are not filler. Now a lot of people loved episode 3 with Crosshair and Commander Cody, which was epic, but let's look at this. We're 10 episodes going on 11 episodes into this show right now, and Crosshair's been in 1 episode. Hasn't even been referred to in other episodes, just been in 1 episode. The rest have been filler, and we've kind of just been like, okay, the Bad Batch is coming out this week. No real predictions for it, no real fun to have with it. Like, it's just the Bad Batch is coming out this week. It's just kind of there for us to maybe watch at a later date. It's just there. So we're not going to spend too much time on the Bad Batch. We don't want to spend, because there's so much stuff to go over with the Mandalorian Season 3 coming out tomorrow. And I'm sick and tired of being bummed out about the Bad Batch. So let's talk about the Mandalorian. I've had enough. Mando time. What was that? 4 minutes? Okay, 4 minutes is way too much time to spend on the Bad Batch Season 2 at this point. So, the Mandalorian Season 3. Where do we begin? Predictions? Anybody? We'll get into what my predictions are a little bit later as we go on. But we do have a few short trailers here to watch. A few short trailers here to watch. We also have to talk about, I posted a video yesterday about the Book of Boba Fett, sorry. The Book of Boba Fett getting a second season. Now, there's been a lot of rumors about Boba Fett being in the third season of The Mandalorian, and actually I do believe it's been confirmed at this point by producers at Lucasfilm that he will be there. He will be in season 3, which is very, very cool. It's great that that's been confirmed. But Boba Fett seems to be a main character at this point. Like Din Djarin and like Ahsoka Tano moving forward, Boba's going to be one of those main characters. So wherever this leads down the road to Thrawn and his undead army, or whatever the big threat is going to be, the Imperial Remnant that turns into the First Order, wherever this leads, Boba Fett's going to be there. He's going to be one of the main characters, and he's going to be there. Okay? Let's actually start up a poll here, talking about the Mandalorian Season 3 coming up. How excited are you for Mando premiere? And I think I'm spelling premiere incorrectly. I don't know. If it's spelled incorrectly, that's on you guys. That's on you guys. Let's say 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oops. 10 out of 10 or anything else. No. We'll make it realistic. We'll make it realistic. 6 to 9, right? 6 to 9 out of 10. 6 to 9 out of 10. This is all out of 10. So just to make it easier for you guys. 3 to 6 or 3 to 5. We'll just go 3 to 5. Yeah, we'll go 2 to 5. 2 to 5. Or, of course, 0 to 2. If you really aren't excited at all. So you guys tell me. How excited are we for The Mandalorian Season 3? I know we've been getting very excited on these streams for the Ahsoka show. And, of course, that show's still going to do amazing, and I can't wait for it. But I think The Mandalorian, as closer and closer it got, I think it's just gotten extremely hyped up. And we're going to watch some trailers and get extremely hyped up because, again, it's just a few short hours away at this point. 7 hours, give or take. Now, we will talk about whether or not I'm going to be doing a watch party at 3 a.m. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We got a lot to talk about today. So let's start off with this new trailer that is on Star Wars' YouTube channel. We're going to watch it. We are going to watch it. So I'm not going to put closed captioning on. And we are just going to try our best.
Being a Mandalorian is not just learning about how to fight.
So first of all, what even is this? Is this underneath the surface of Mandalore? Like, we've been seeing all these different shots of Din and Grogu going through the caves on Mandalore, but this one is a new shot of some underground city on Mandalore. Now, this is very strange. I mean, this is the first time we're seeing this. Are there going to be people on Mandalore when Din gets there? Not Imperial people, like actual Mandalorians that survived and still live on Mandalore. That's what I want to know. What do you guys think? You think there'll be Mandalorians there on Mandalore when Din Djarin gets there? I don't know, but this is very weird to see this underneath. Maybe it's abandoned. Maybe it was an underground city at one point, but now it's abandoned. I don't know. We'll keep going.
The creed is how we survived.
Still don't know what's going on with this guy with the green goobity glob goob. Yeah, we don't know. We still don't know. Okay, so Grogu using the Force here very, very easily. Now, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but Jon Favreau has just confirmed, like as of a few hours ago, and I just released a short on it, as of a few hours ago, Jon Favreau has told us that Grogu trained with Luke Skywalker for over 2 years. 2 years. Grogu trained with Luke Skywalker. Now, it was really hard to tell how long Grogu was actually with Luke in the Book of Boba Fett. Seeing how it was only one episode, and when Din Djarin gets there, it kind of just flashes to Luke and Grogu. Not saying that it's a flashback, not saying that it's been them training this entire time. There is nothing to show us how long Grogu trained with Luke. So we only got one episode. We just assumed it was very short and sweet, and he just trained a little bit with Luke Skywalker. Come to find out, Jon Favreau tells us that he trained for 2 years. 2 years he trained with Luke Skywalker. Now this could lead to something awesome. This could lead to something absolutely crazy when it comes to The Mandalorian Season 3, because Grogu now could be using the Force at a whole nother level than he has in the past. We've seen him Force heal, we've seen him Force push, we've seen him do a lot of cool stuff in the first 2 seasons. We've seen him calm down the Rancor in the Book of Boba Fett. We've seen Grogu do a ton of stuff using the Force. However, now he's been trained by Luke frickin' Skywalker for 2 years. So I expect some great Force using abilities from Grogu in this 3rd season. And I think we won't be let down. And Grogu just looks older in this, doesn't he? Looks older. He just looks a bit older to me. I don't know. When you look back, really, because you don't really notice as you just watch week by week, when you look back at the first time Din sees Grogu, he literally looks like an absolute baby, like a literal baby. But now he's grown up, and he's really aging quickly. But we still, again, don't know how much time is being covered throughout the Mandoverse, whatever you want to call it. We don't know how much time is being covered because of how we're not being told. In between seasons, how long is that? In between episodes, how long is that? And again, apparently Grogu trained with Luke for 2 years. The whole timetable is all over the place.
Without the creed, what are we?
Without the creed, what are we? We're going to be seeing an insane amount of Mandalorians in this season. Like an insane amount. And I can't wait. I can't wait.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hang on, kid.
This was 3 days ago, obviously.
This is the way.
So this is a very cool shot. We got this. This is a brand new shot of Mandalore. Now this is Mandalore, and it is it's a different spot on Mandalore. Obviously, it's not the cave spot that Din's at, but you have this huge field. Mandalore is a very weird planet, and I'm just assuming this is Mandalore just because of the dome and how all the Mandalorian cities were under domes. I'm just assuming. This could be another planet, but this is Bo-Katan's Mandalorian ship flying into this place. And it's a dome, and it looks like Mandalore, so I'm just going with the fact that it could be Mandalore. But if this is Mandalore, is this before the Empire comes in? Is this a flashback? Is this before the Empire and the Night of a Thousand Tears? Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Night of a Thousand Tears. Is this before that? Is this a flashback scene? Or is this Mandalore coming back and being just back to the way it was? Is this Mandalore, and is this a flashback? You guys tell me. Tell me in the chat. Do you think this is a flashback of Bo-Katan flying into Mandalore before the Night of a Thousand Tears and the Empire comes and destroys it? Or do you think this is after all of it, and this is like maybe an Imperial base, or it's Bo-Katan's base and there's a bunch of Mandalorian here? I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards flashback with this scene just because of how like green it is, and we saw the Night of a Thousand Tears and they literally just bombed the entire planet. But I don't know. You guys tell me.
This is the way.
Got a bunch of Mandalorians flying. Now we don't know what planet this is. I'm guessing Navarro. We have seen a lot of Mandalorians on Navarro. Babu Frick, of course. Then you got Bo-Katan in her ship here being chased by, what are they called? TIE somethings. TIE fighters, obviously, but there's a certain kind of TIE fighter. Again, a whole lot of Bo-Katan flying around in that trailer. You're led to believe that it's Din Djarin when you look at, like, this. Bo-Katan, and then they show Din Djarin to make you believe that it's Din Djarin flying around there. But Din is in his N1 starfighter and in a different location here than this ship. This is not his M1 starfighter. So there's a lot of Bo-Katan flying around, but there's no Din Djarin. Or there's really no appearance of Bo-Katan either. It's very strange. Very strange. But of course, Wednesday. This Wednesday, which is in like 7 hours. 7 hours.
Wednesday, only on Disney Plus.
Of course, only on Disney Plus. So that is that trailer. Now we do have a couple other ones that they released. I had to clear my throat, sorry. We do have some other ones that they released on Instagram that were actually pretty cool as well. But what do we think of that trailer? Did that get you hyped up at all? Did that get you hyped up at all? If not, we got some more hype stuff. So, okay. So now we have these two trailers. Let me pull them up here. What the heck? There's no volume there. Here we go. This is the armor pretty much just telling Din to go die because he's a Mandalorian no more. Here we go.
Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
What are we? What do we stand for?
That's very loud.
Heard you were back.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
What are we? What do we stand for?
Heard you were back.
This is the way.
This is the way. All right, let's watch one more. One more. Why not? This one came out today, talking about tomorrow. Okay. Bo-Katan again. And Babu, frickin' frick, of course. Can't have enough Babu. But there are a ton of Mandalorian in all these trailers. That's what they're trying to hype up. The fact that there's going to be a lot of Mandalorians in The Mandalorian. So it's not just going to be Din. It's not just going to be Din versus Bo for the fight on the throne. It's going to be Paz Vizsla, and you're going to have a endless amount of other Mandalorians that we've never seen before. Now, there is one Mandalorian, or Mandalorian, whatever you want to call him, Boba Fett. Now, we talked about this all the time, but we talked about wanting to get a second season for the Book of Boba Fett. And a lot of people have been like, yeah, and a lot of people have been like, no, and then a lot of people have been like, okay, and then blah, 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 blah. But there has been some news regarding the situation here with Boba Fett. He will be in this third season. I have 99.9% sure that Boba Fett will be in the third season of The Mandalorian in a big role, like in a huge role, like come to help Din and maybe, just maybe, stick around for a long time. Jeffrey Snow in first today saying, in a picture there was Mando and Bo-Katan as if they are somewhat teaming up or something like that. It's possible that they could team up. They're trying to pin it like they're fighting against each other for a fight for the Mandalorian throne, and I think that's just not at all going to be true. I think it's not even close to what's going to actually happen. But I think they're going to end up fighting with each other to get the throne together, but I think they're going to have to fight a bigger threat. Now, who is going to be that bigger threat? How about the Empire? Moff Gideon? Like, there is something bigger going on here, and this is not the first time you hear about it. Actually, you hear all about it through season 1, through season 2, through season 3, the Book of Boba Fett, and now probably through season 3. And the one guy, I think the most important character going into season 3, and this is my bold prediction, most important character going into season 3, of course, other than Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, Grogu, the main ones, the most important side character coming in is this guy right here, Carson Teva. So Carson Teva has been around. He was in season 1, he was in season 2, and he was in the Book of Boba Fett. And his roles in those seasons are very, very short. He shows up to save Din in episode 2 of episode 2 of The Mandalorian season 2. When he's fighting the spiders on that ice planet, he saves them, lets him go, and asks him if he has seen anything in the Outer Rim or what's going on. And in the trailer, in this scene right here that we're looking at, the picture of him right here, he's telling somebody, we don't know who yet, on Coruscant, again, wild on Coruscant, he's telling somebody on Coruscant that there is something bigger happening. And by the time that you see it, it will be too late. He says a danger is growing, and by the time you see it, it will be too late. So Carson Teva has been everywhere. He's the one who gives Cara Dune her medal for the New Republic. He's been everywhere. So I think he's going to be one of, if not the most important characters coming into this third season. Because sure, there will be Din Djarin, Grogu, Bo-Katan, all trying to regain Mandalore. But there will also be Carson Teva on Coruscant with characters like Mon Mothma, maybe even a Leia Organa and Han Solo on Coruscant doing something. Now what that something is, we don't know yet. What this danger is he's talking about, we don't technically know yet, but we can infer that it is the Imperial Remnant building up to the First Order or some cloning thing. Because again, in Season 2, we saw the cloning facility on Navarro, and we saw what seemingly was supposed to be Snoke. It was supposed to be Snoke in a bacta-tank, and then he got blown up. So it was an original version of Snoke. Let's pull that up real quick. Snoke in Mando Season 2. So they've been hinting towards a Snoke appearance. It's not really good. Oh, come on, Google. They're trying to hide stuff from us. Snoke in Mando Season 2 cloning facility. There we go. So they're clearly... Whoops. No, I don't want to save you. Just want to open you. There we go. So they're clearly trying to hint towards something here. I know it's sequel related, but they're trying to gain Grogu's blood to clone him, of course. Clone him into some Force-sensitive being. This is supposed to be Snoke or some other being. And what we hear in this episode, I just rewatched all of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, so I'm kind of like just in all of it right now. But in this episode on Navarro, where there's the cloning facility and they blow it up, you hear a transmission from Dr. Pershing. And he says, we've run out of the blood that we got from Grogu. He doesn't say that specifically. This is paraphrasing, okay? Okay. He says, we run out of the blood that we got from Grogu, and we need more. But it's going to be hard to find more blood of the same midichlorian count. Now he's talking about, of course, Grogu has an insane midichlorian count. He is one of only 3 Yoda's species we've ever seen in Star Wars, and we know, of course, Yoda has one of the highest midichlorian counts ever. So Grogu, of course, has that same high midichlorian count. Now there's only a few other beings in the galaxy at this time. We know Luke Skywalker, of course, that could have that high midichlorian count. So obviously the Empire is still trying to come after Grogu. And that's why Moff Gideon wanted him. They just wanted his blood to create Snoke. And of course, Snoke leads into the sequels and all that stuff. But just throw the sequels out. This is going to be way better of a story. Grogu is the reason that Snoke is created, with a giant question mark at the end. Grogu is the reason that Snoke is created, question mark? Maybe. So they don't have Grogu anymore. Again, they ran out of his blood. And this facility, this cloning facility on Navarro, was, boom, exploded. But there is likely to be other ones. We have to remember that Navarro is an Outer Rim planet. This is an Outer Rim planet. And, of course, what did we just talk about? Our boy Carson Teva is saying that there's something weird going on in the Outer Rim. Now, I think this is going to be one of the main story arcs of The Mandalorian Season 3. What is going on with the Imperial Remnant? Why are they trying to clone so much? And what are they trying to clone? Obviously, we can infer that it's Snoke. We can infer that it's Palpatine's contingency plan, but we're actually going to get that played out. We're actually going to see that played out. And it's going to be so cool. I mean, are you guys excited for that? Are you guys excited for that? Do you think that I'm on the right track here, or do you think I'm way off, or just what? Jeffrey Snow follows up and says, yes, this guy has been all around the Star Wars franchise. True. He's been in The Mandalorian Season 1, Season 2, and the Book of Boba Fett. He is the anchor to the New Republic, really. We haven't really gotten a good glimpse of the New Republic all that much, right? Derpy Entertainment says, live reaction watch party for Mando. So, that's something we're going to talk about later in the stream when we get more people on here, because most people kind of come in towards the end. I don't know yet. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm going to be up watching it most likely anyway, or I might just, wake up really early. It is 3 a.m., and we'll just have to see. If a lot of people are going to come, of course I'll do it, of course. And Captain Jack chimes in for the first time today saying, I can lie. He said, I can lie. I'm guessing I'm guessing you're trying to say that you can't lie, Captain Jack, because you're lying already. He says, I'm not excited for Season 3. Captain Jack, do we have to watch the trailers again? What doesn't excite you? Is it Coruscant? Is it Order 66 flashbacks? Is it Grogu? Is it Grogu? Is it the Mandalorians going back to Mandalore? Is it the possibility of Moff Gideon in Mandalorian armor that looks like Darth Maul's armor? Is it the possibility of a Mythosaur and Bo-Katan possibly riding that Mythosaur? Is it the possibility of Boba Fett coming back? Is it the possibility of a young Leia and Han Solo? Is it the possibility of Luke, Leia, and Han getting their own Star Wars Disney series spinoff of this show? Okay, Captain Jack. Okay. Whatever you say. By the end of this video, I will get you excited. I will. And you want to know why I will? Because this guy told me. This guy right here, he told me. He told me this season's going to be insane, in that everybody is wrong, and that this is going to be the most wild season. It's going to take Season 2 and put it on steroids. This season of The Mandalorian is going to be something that we've never seen before. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have said it themselves, that they have upped the ante. Let me calm down for a second. Season 2 of The Mandalorian had first live-action appearance of Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan. Boba Fett coming back from the dead after 40 years. Luke Skywalker coming in at the end to save the day. And just so much more. I mean, he fought a crate dragon in Episode 1. Okay? So, to up the ante from that, to go even bigger than that, is just how? So what I think is going to be, obviously, is going to Coruscant, seeing the New Republic, possibly seeing a younger version of Leia and Han Solo, and maybe even a young version of Kylo Ren, a.k.a. Ben Solo. And Ben Solo, seeing what age he'll be at, will be kind of a good indication of where we're at in the Star Wars timeline, because he was obviously created on Endor. If you guys didn't know that, Ben Solo was created after the Battle of Endor. So however old he is where we're at in the Star Wars timeline. I bet you he's probably around 10 years old at this point. 10 to 15, actually. Maybe, who knows? He could show up being 25. I don't know. But I think Coruscant's going to be a huge, just game changer. Obviously, the cloning stuff with the Imperial Remnant, Moff Gideon breaking out of prison is going to be absolutely wild. And I think they're going to up the ante by bringing in Leia, Han, Ben Solo, and even Mon Mothma. I think it was... who was in here saying... I hate it when I forget things like this. Who was in here in the chat saying a few weeks ago that Carson Teva right here in this scene was talking to Mon Mothma? Who was that? Was that... I'm sorry. You tell me in the chat if that was you. I'm completely forgetting. But this season is going to up the ante, and it is going to be bigger and better than Season 2 because of Coruscant, because of Order 66 flashbacks, because of going to Mandalore, having Mandalorian fighting each other, but also trying to fight to get their home planet back. Jeffrey Snow follows up and says, not really excited either because of how they did my boy Boba Fett. Utterly disrespectful. It's a joke. True. They really did do Boba Fett dirty. But like I said, I just finished the Book of Boba Fett again. I rewatched it, of course, to get excited and hyped for The Mandalorian Season 3. And honestly, and I know you're going to get angry. You're going to get angry. I liked the Book of Boba Fett more rewatching it over the weekend. I liked it rewatching it more this time than I remember liking it when it first came out. I liked the Book of Boba Fett more. I think you should all, like right now, for the next 7 hours before The Mandalorian Season 3 comes up. Actually, it's probably not even enough time. It's probably like just the perfect amount of time. Go watch the Book of Boba Fett over again. The first episode, I know. Beta Fett, we know. There's a few scenes and there's a few, of course, terrible things. The Vespa Gang, I'll never get over it. I'll never get over the Vespa Gang. It's the worst creation of all time. Literally the worst thing that's ever happened to Star Wars. Ever. Maybe. I'd have to think about it. But the Vespa Gang is very bad. Their chase, when they chase the mayor's whatever guy down the streets of Mos Espa, terrible. Honestly, the worst thing ever. But there are some good things, okay? I'm just crapping on the show now. There are some good things. The first episode, when he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit, great. His whole origin story, gets with the Tuskens, tries to escape, fights the thing in the desert, great. Episode 2, the train heist, great. All of it, fantastic. Episode 3 is the Vespa Gang, and it's so bad. Episode 4, I believe, is the Vespa Gang as well. It's like, it's when Chrysanthemum comes in and he fights him in his underwear, and then he comes down in his robe. That is so bad. So episode 3 and 4, very bad. Yes, I'll give you that. I'll grant you that. Episode 3 and 4 of Book of Boba Fett, no thanks. But episode 1 and 2 aren't that bad, or aren't as bad as I remember them being. Also, then you get into The Mandalorian Season 2.5, what a lot of people like to call the Book of Boba Fett. And episode 5 and 6 are literal masterpieces, like absolute masterpieces. Bryce Dallas Howard does the 5th episode where he creates the M1 Starfighter. Unbelievable. Literally so good. The cold open with Din going into that butcher shop, chopping the guy's head off with the Darksaber. He goes and trains with the armorer. You learn about the Night of 1,000 Tears. You see a flashback of them bombing the crap out of Mandalore. So good. And then he goes to Tatooine with Pelimoto and builds the freaking N1 Starfighter. Unbelievably cool. So cool. And again, in that episode, when he's flying up, he runs into Carson Teva. So, again, that guy's everywhere. He's everywhere. And then episode 6. In episode 6, I still say, to this day, that episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett is the single greatest episode of any Star Wars content that we've ever received. Okay? Now, it could change. Maybe The Mandalorian is fantastic. I think the Ahsoka show will change my mind on that, because I think that Ahsoka show is going to go insane. But episode 6 of the of the Book of Boba Fett, episode 6, directed by Dave Filoni, is the greatest episode of anything we've ever received from Star Wars. Ever. Now, this is the episode where Luke is training Grogu, right? Now, apparently, this happens over 2 years, like we talked about at the beginning of this. Jon Favreau, if you guys weren't here, Jon Favreau has just confirmed, literally as of a few hours ago, that Luke and Grogu trained for 2 years together. 2 years. So apparently, episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett was like a 2-year thing. So he trains with them. And that training sequence is unbelievable. All the stuff with Luke, he looks fantastic. The CGI is immaculate. So good. Grogu, always the cutest. But then you even have Din Djarin showing up to the planet. R2 brings him to his Jedi temple that's being created by R2-run droids. Ahsoka Tano just shows up, says some awesome words to Luke about knowing her father. She's a family friend. Like, just Easter eggs all over the place. Fun, cool, nerdy, sweaty stuff. And then you get Cad Bane's live action appearance. So not only is it Luke training Grogu, which is unbelievably cool. You also have Ahsoka in it. You also have R2-D2, the building of Luke's Jedi Temple originally. You also have Cad Bane's live action appearance. He comes into Freetown, as they call it, and shoots. I'm completely blanking on his name. What the heck's the Marshal? The Marshal, what's his name? Somebody in the chat, please help me out. What's his name? He comes in and shoots him. He survives, obviously. He's in the back tank at the end of the show. But a Cad Bane first live action appearance, and then they blow up the sanctuary to end the episode. Out with a bang. Out with a bang. What the heck's his name? Who's the Marshal in season 2, episode 1? What the heck's his name? Why am I completely blanking on that? Oh, come on. What's his name? Because I definitely think he's going to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian as well. And I'm completely blanking on his name right now. Come on. Jeffrey Snow follows up and says, I watched both your vids on your point of view on Fett's ruling Mandalore. He said, but I love Book of Boba Fett because my little sister's kids would come over and enjoy it. So he didn't like the Book of Boba Fett because they disrespected Boba, but he liked it because his sister's kids would come over and watch it. True. I get you, Jeffrey. I get you. It took me a second because I can't read English, I guess. Captain Jack says, I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett a lot. Other than the Vespa gang and the mayor's guy, I really enjoyed the Tusken stuff and Cad Bane. I didn't like the Hutts. I didn't like how the Hutts just left. The Hutts were just afraid of the Pikes. That's how they kind of explained it. The Hutts were just afraid of the Pikes. And that's why they just left the planet. But yeah, the Book of Boba Fett has a lot to like. It has a lot to dislike, like the Vespa gang, the mayor, and all that stuff. And when Chrysanthemum comes to fight Boba, he's in his underwear, and then he comes down in his robe instead of his armor. There's a lot to not like, but there is a ton to like. Luke training Grogu. All the Mandalorian stuff is fantastic. Even Boba Fett stuff is fun. All the flashback stuff, the Tuskens, Cad freaking Bane, the greatest bounty hunter of all time. And I know Boba Fett, everybody loves Boba Fett. Everybody loves Boba Fett. He's not. Cad Bane's the greatest bounty hunter of all time. And he's in live action now because of that show. So it was very cool. It was very cool. And I would love to see a second season. What do you guys think? Would you like to see a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? Because he'll definitely be in this show. He will definitely be in this show. I can all but kind of guarantee it. So right now we're sitting at 71% of you guys are a 10 out of 10 excited for this premiere, which is pretty crazy. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people excited for the show. And again, our boy Carson Teva is the key to all of it. To all of it. To all of it. So let's talk about some other news, obviously regarding this still. Well, all right, we'll talk about this first. So this is regarding how long Luke was training with Grogu. So the Mandalorian fans shocked, utterly shocked about, how long ago was this? Oh, it just says today. So a few hours ago, we were shocked by new Grogu Luke Skywalker reveal. So blah, 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 blah. How long did Grogu stay with Luke Skywalker? So this is the crazy reveal that we got earlier. Speaking with Sky Talkers, the Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau discussed Grogu's Jedi training with Luke Skywalker. The Marvel and Star Wars director appeared to confirm that Grogu and Din Djarin have been apart for 2 years. 2 years. The same real time that we've had since the last time they were together. That's how long they've been apart. Indicating that Grogu, why is it, who is this character named Baby Yoda? Anybody familiar with this character? Anybody? Baby Yoda? Is that like Yoda's uncle or something? Anybody? Does anybody know who this is? Weird. Was with Luke. Oh, now he's with Luke. What? I think this is a spelling mistake. I think this is supposed to say Grogu. I don't know how auto-corrected to that, but Grogu was with Luke during that period. So this is what Jon Favreau says. This is what he has to say for himself. He says, and we know that he started off earlier in the Jedi Temple. We've seen flashbacks to that. I must have missed those. But and then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian. That's what happened in the Book of Boba Fett. went back with Luke. What? And now, oh, hang on, I'm completely lost. He's talking about the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So we saw that in flashbacks. He was he started off in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and then he spent many years with the Mandalorian. And now he's with Luke. Now, we've been 2 years apart from him there training. He's been there training for two years. Insane. This shocking revelation led to shocking reactions from fans, with some even questioning the 2-year gap. So Brandon Bird, do you think his last name is Bird, or do you think he is a bird? Brandon Bird doesn't believe Favreau's claim of the 2 years, noting the show's tight on-screen timeline with overlapping events. So, Brandon's a straight-up liar here. Why would the showrunner for the show, who's literally telling us what happened, be lying to our faces when he says they were apart for 2 years? So Jon Favreau goes on to say, oh, never mind. That's what Brandon said. Never mind. We don't care what he says. Fennec O'Shak, or hang on, no, Francis O'Shak, sure, pointed out that the events of the book Boba Fett have made it seem like Grogu was just beginning his training. Very true. Episode 6 of the book Boba Fett leads us to believe that Grogu and Luke trained for like an hour. Like, that's what we're led to believe when we watch that episode. They trained for a solid hour. But that's not what it says. He says, what? Over many years? Also, the book of Boba Fett, it felt like Grogu was just beginning his training. He couldn't even jump properly using the Force until that episode. I'm confused. Aren't we all? Aaron Sky Guy said that the gap was not conveyed well at all. So it was not conveyed well at all in the show. And he's completely right. It wasn't conveyed well at all in the book of Boba Fett. However, the gap still exists. You can't deny what the showrunner of the show is saying. It still exists, right? So the gap, it was a 2-year gap. They trained for 2 years. And maybe they didn't convey it well in that episode, but they trained for 2 whole years. Meaning, Grogu is going to be way more powerful with the Force than we've seen before. When he force heals, what's his face? When he force heals, I'm so bad with names today. What the heck? When he force heals Grief Karga, in season 1, he falls asleep. When he picks up the Mudhorn, he falls asleep. Like, he gets really, really tired when he uses the Force. Now maybe, just maybe, he has grown out of that or become more powerful with the Force and being able to do more without getting so tired. He also is older as well, 2 years older at this point. Star Wars Politics In says, so it's confirmed 2 years. Yes, it's confirmed by Jon Favreau himself, the showrunner for the show. So yeah, it is confirmed that it's been 2 years. 2 years. Jeffrey Snow says 2 years, not really surprising. Since the makers are doing similar stuff right now after the Return of the Jedi. I'm very lost on that one, Jeffrey. Sorry. Star Wars Politics says, what? He says, what? He says, what? He says, what? I never would have thought. Yeah, I don't think anybody would. I think this comes as a huge surprise because that episode did not convey 2 years. It didn't. It just didn't. Simple as that. It didn't convey 2 years at all. Like, not in the slightest. So the fact that it was 2 years is kind of crazy and leads us to like this wide open field of Grogu can do anything now. Grogu can do anything now. He's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger with the Force, and it literally could lead to an insanely awesome season 3 of The Mandalorian. Like, insane. If he's using the Force all over the place here, like fighting Moff Gideon, fighting who knows, anybody. Literally could be fighting stormtroopers, crushing them like Luke Skywalker. He's probably not that strong yet, but he's probably a whole lot stronger than we've seen before. It's going to be wild. It's going to be insanity. Jeffrey says, so let me fix what I said before. Okay, thanks. He said, I said Boba season 1, no one didn't know what Boba was seeing, and now it's very similar. Okay, that made me even more confused, Jeffrey, and I'm sorry. But it did. I think, all right, what I think he's trying to say is that in Boba, the timing was very weird, and we don't know what was going on. If that's what you're trying to say. I don't know, but I think that's what he's trying to say. Sorry, Jeffrey. Either I'm really bad at reading or you're really bad at typing, or the combination of both is not really good right now. Okay, we do have some other pretty wild news. Okay, so this one, we'll start with the smaller news. So this marks the 40-year. Today is the 40th year of Return of the Jedi. So this is just a little thing. In April, Return of the Jedi is coming back to the theaters. Pretty cool. Go check that out. But this is way more cool. Hang on, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Hang on. So of course, yes, we'll get into that. So this. Here we go again. Ready? Luke, Leia, and Han rumored for a Disney Plus a series. A whole entire series. All right. This is wild. This is wild. And I think this is actually going to have to do with The Mandalorian Season 3 in a very big way. Because I think, and now here's my crazy prediction for The Mandalorian Season 3. Not only are we going to get Luke Skywalker again, we're also getting a young Leia and a young Han, and along with a young Ben Solo. But a young Leia, a young Han, and a young Luke Skywalker in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And this is going to lead them into getting their own spin-off series of short films on Disney Plus. So this is coming from Sean O'Rourke. Now I was like, who the heck is Sean O'Rourke? Looked him up. He is unbelievable source, like just out of the park. He's been in the industry for 20 years, worked for Disney for a long time, and now he's a industry insider. And he is very, very good source. So here's what he says. A wild rumor claims that Luke, Leia, and Han will feature in a new series of short films releasing on Disney+. Sean O'Rourke, an industry insider, has heard the new series will be revealed at this year's Star Wars Celebration. So to quote him, he says, I am hearing a rumor of a new Disney Plus series announcement coming at Star Wars Celebration. A series of short films with Luke, Leia, and Han. That's what Sean O'Rourke says himself. So hold the phone. Take that phone and hold it. Luke, Leia, and Han getting their own short films. A series of short films on Disney Plus. This is insanity. You're talking about like what the Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy. Now you're getting that for what we can honestly just only think is going to be the sequel trilogy. Trying to fix the sequel trilogy. That's kind of what they're trying to do here. However, Luke, his Jedi Temple, Leia, the New Republic, Han, and their kid, Ben Solo. Like, please let this be real. I know he is a very valid source, and I know a lot of sources can be wrong. But with Star Wars Celebration right around the corner, it's at the end of April, we need some great announcements. We need some spectacular announcements that will get Star Wars fans extremely excited, because there is some bad news that will be revealed at Star Wars Celebration, and that is that the next movie for Star Wars is going to be a sequel era movie that'll be released in 2025. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but it's most likely going to be Damon Lindelof writing and Miss Marvel directing a Star Wars film that is sequel era. On the surface, sounds terrible. Miss Marvel director, sequel era, no thanks. However, if The Mandalorian keeps going the way that it's going, spectacular and just getting better, and then you get a Luke, Leia, and Han, younger versions of the characters, in their own short films on Disney Plus, and that goes very well and is very, very good, and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are in charge of it, of course, then you're talking about, okay, hang on, we might be onto something here. Because, again, I've said it a bajillion times at this point, and yes, that is a real number. The sequels were about a year and a half. So however you feel about the sequels, however you feel about those characters, the time frame between The Force Awakens in The Rise of Skywalker is about 1.5 years. So in this gigantic galaxy far, far away, in this huge galaxy where there's bajillions of people and so much going on, 1 year is nothing. So if the content coming before that year and after that year is really, 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 really good, then we might be onto something here. We might be onto something very, very special. And if this is true, if this right here, if this is true, let me hold it up. Hang on. If this is true, this could be absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And I honestly can't wait for Star Wars Celebration at this point because it could be insane. Insane. Absolutely insane. So Jeffrey Snow says, as in the 5 years it took for him to get his armor with the Tuskens. I didn't know until the show happened. So it's very similar with the 2-year gap. Oh yeah, so that's what he's saying. He's saying that the flashbacks with him with the Tuskens didn't seem like 5 years. Yes, you are correct, Jeffrey, and it took me forever to figure it out, but you are absolutely right. What he did with the Tusken Raiders did not seem like 5 years, but it was supposed to be 5 years. You're correct. Very, very correct, yes. If that makes any sense, I guess. It makes perfect sense, Jeffrey. It makes perfect sense. We got there. We got there eventually. We got there. Star Wars Politics says, when you say it out loud, it makes me want to throw up. So I'm guessing you're talking about the Miss Marvel directing a sequel era film. Yes. That does not sound appealing. And that is what they're going to have to break to us at Star Wars Celebration. That's the bad news. That is the bad news. We have to hear at Star Wars Celebration that the next Star Wars movie is going to be a sequel era movie directed by the director of Miss Marvel over at Marvel. Yeah. When you say it out loud, it sounds really, really bad. But when you also say a Luke, Leia, and Han show, it sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic. And I can't wait. And I mean, if you're coming off of The Mandalorian Season 3 being epic, the Ahsoka show being unbelievably cool, like just miles ahead of anything else in front of it. And then you have the Skeleton Crew, which hopefully gets over this hump of production error and whatever's going on with it. And then you have the Acolyte show, which hopefully is really good. And then you're going into a Luke, Leia, and Han show. I mean, Star Wars will be in stride, like an absolute great stride. And hopefully that movie continues the stride and keeps it going further. Regardless, Star Wars Celebration is going to be insane. Now, there is a little bit of news regarding Star Wars Celebration that is bad news regarding Star Wars Celebration. Let me pull it up. It won't be streamed. Did you guys hear this? It won't be streamed. Star Wars Celebration will not be streamed. Very, very weird. Hang on. Very, very weird. I can't not find this for the life of me. Hang on. I can't find it. But I know for a fact it's not going to be streamed. Hang on. What the heck? I don't know why I can't find this. Okay, whatever. It won't be streamed. It's pretty crazy, but it won't be streamed. It's wild. Wild. All right, so here's actually some other things. And since you guys couldn't freaking remind me the name of the marshal, I had to do it myself. I still don't know his name. What's it? Cobb Vanth. Thanks a lot, chat. Cobb Vanth. So we got a little bit of Cobb Vanth to talk about. But before we do, Star Wars Politics says, depends on who's directing and writing. Because I thought Kenobi would be good. True. You're right. You're completely correct. Because you thought about it. Deborah Chow was going to be the director. And you were like, holy crap, this is going to be fantastic. And then you were like, hang on. What? What is this? What was that writer's name? Who wrote Kenobi? What was his name? He's the worst writer of all time now. Well, I can't think of his name. It was something stupid, I remember. His name was like Stupid Face Idiot Writer. Right? Something like that. something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's go into this. So, people were wondering if Cobb Vanth is going to be in season 3. So now it's like, who's not going to be in season 3? Like, at this point, it's like, who is not going to be in season 3? Boba Fett will be in there. I mean, hopefully Luke, hopefully Ahsoka, hopefully Leia, hopefully Han. But confirmed by him himself. Timothy Oliphant, Timothy Elephant, breaks his silence on the Book of Boba Fett twist. So he is the actor behind Cobb Vanth himself, of course. So at the end of the Book of Boba Fett, in the second ending, it reveals that he survived. He got shot by Cad Bane, but he survived. He's in the back to tank, taking a dip in the bag to tank. So in an interview with TV Line, the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett star, Timothy Elephant, from now on is referred to as Timothy Elephant, broke his silence on the fate of his character Cobb Vanth. When asked if he was going to make an appearance in Season 3 of Star Wars' flagship Disney Plus show, the actor had his lip sealed shut. Elephant joked that they would know that world better than he does, and if he knew anything, he wasn't saying sheet. He wasn't saying sheet. Indeed. So, is his return imminent? Given the popularity of Cobb Vanth as a character, let's be real, he is one of the coolest Disney's created characters. He is. Like, they've made a bunch of characters, sequel characters. They made The Mandalorian, of course, and Grogu. Cobb Vanth is up there. He's at the top of the list as one of the cool Disney created characters. There's a good chance he'll be returning sooner rather than later. The Mandalorian's third season seems like a perfect place to do so. Now, you guys have to remember, in the Book of Boba Fett, when Din and Boba need help, they need help fighting the Pikes. They need an army. The first person he goes to is Cobb Vanth. The first person that Din Djarin thinks of is Cobb Vanth. He goes to get his town, Freetown, to come in and save the day. And this ends up with Cobb Vanth getting shot by Cad Bane, but they seem to be friends at this point. He goes asking for a favor from a friend. Cobb Vanth and Din Djarin seem to be friends at this point. So, if Din Djarin needs help like he has in Season 1, it seems to be a very common occurrence with the Mandalorian show at this point. Season 1 ends with him calling up Cara Dune, I have spoken, what's his name, Queel, Grief Karga, and they go fight Moff Gideon. Season 2, he calls up his crew. He calls up Cara Dune. He calls up Bo-Katan. He calls up Bo-Katan's friend and Boba Fett, and they go fight Moff Gideon to go save the child. And then in the Book of Boba Fett, he calls up Cobb Vanth. He gets called up by Boba Fett, and they fight the Pikes. Seems to be a common occurrence here. I bet you by the end of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, he's going to call up all his friends to fight some big bad. Most likely, Moff Gideon and the Empire. So, most likely it's going to be Boba Fett. Not Cara Dune, but Boba Fett, Cobb Vanth, and some of his other friends. Probably Mandalorians now. To fight. So it's going to be very interesting to see who comes in and who doesn't come in. But I think Cobb Vanth, being one of Din Djarin's very, very close friends, will be one who gets called in. Because he's also at Jabba's palace anyway with Boba Fett. So, I mean, if he's calling one, he's calling both. Let's be real. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think Cobb Vanth will be in this? Do you think Cobb Vanth will be in Season 3 of The Mandalorian? You guys tell me in the chat. Star Wars Politics says, shaky cam will make you puke just as much as the sequel trilogy directed by Miss Marvel. Yes. Indeed. Very factual. Right now, we're sitting at 78% of you are 10 out of 10 excited. And the good news is nobody's like not excited at all. Nobody's at 0 to 2. Nobody's at 2 to 5. It's great. I'm so excited. What do we think? Should we do a watch party? How many hours are we away from this thing right now? How many hours? 6 hours? 6 hours? 6 hours? Should we just stream for the next 6 hours and then watch the just kidding. Watch The Mandalorian? No. I don't know. When am I gonna sleep? Sleep's whatever. You know, I've slept enough. We can watch Manda. So obviously, yeah, if you guys weren't here on on last Thursday, the episode's only going to be 35 minutes. This first episode's only going to be 35 minutes. So let's predict what's actually going to happen in this first episode. We've predicted what's going to happen throughout the show in general. What's going to happen in this first episode, all right? First episode of The Mandalorian. I think we're definitely going to Navarro right away. That one scene that we got, let's watch that scene. Let's watch the scene. So this scene that we got, I think is definitely going to happen in the first episode. With Grief Karga on Navarro. I think this is all going to happen in the first episode. And then I also think we could get some Coruscant in the first episode. I know, first episode Coruscant, crazy, but I think we could. Maybe to end the episode with Carson Teva. Who knows? Who knows? But they got to get us hyped, because you got to think about the second season. Season 2, episode 1, was almost an hour long, and it had Cobb Vanth's introduction, wearing Boba Fett's armor, and they fought a freaking great dragon, and it was awesome. So they got to, start off with a bang. And I really think showing Coruscant or having something happen on Coruscant would really just get the people going. It would. But I think this is definitely going to happen in the first episode. So we'll watch this. I know we watched it before, but we're watching it again.
Now, as I was saying, there's a beautiful parcel available right down here by the flats.
I appreciate.
Look at Grogu spinning in the chair. He's using the Force. Again, a lot stronger with the Force now. He literally had to struggle to use the Force before. He's literally using the Force to have fun and spin himself around in the chair. Grogu's going to go ham in this season, I'm calling it. He's going insane.
The offer, but I have some matters to look after.
Well, I'm confused. I thought you had completed your mission, but you're still running around here with the same little critter.
It's complicated. I completed my quest. He returned to me. I removed my...
So apparently, when he completed his quest and sent him off with Luke Skywalker, that was 2 years. 2 years.
helmet, and now I'm an apostate.
Which is all
Grogu wants those Reese's Pieces.
the more reason for you to stay here with us.
When are they going to start selling Star Wars Reese's Pieces?
Where you're from, you may be an apostate, but here, you
He's using the Force left and right now. He's like just having fun with it.
be landed gentry.
So that's the clip, and it's definitely going to be in the first episode, I believe. Like without a doubt, I think it's going to be in the first episode. But I hope we get a lot of cool things in the first episode, because if the season 3 starts off with the dud, and it's not good, and it's only 35 minutes, people are not going to be excited. People are going to be extremely mad. And when we have our stream on Thursday, which we of course are having a stream on Thursday at 8 p.m. On Thursday, same time as today. When we have that stream, I do not want to come on here and be like, oh my God, are we in for another crap fest of a show? Are we in for a Kenobi? I don't even want to think about that. Honestly, I think it's going to be 35 minutes of straight gas, of straight fire, and it's just going to blow the doors off, and it's going to be fantastic. And I really hope so, because honestly, anything else, I might lose my mind. I might. Thursday stream will go a lot crazier if that's the case. Okay, of course, I have to shout it out because I have forgotten all streams so far. In the description below, there is a link to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars, so don't forget to go check out that Discord, because we talk about a lot of fun Star Wars stuff in there, and we have a spoiler zone, so as soon as The Mandalorian comes out tomorrow, you can go spoil the crap out of it in the Discord and talk about it with all the other people who have watched it already. So go check out that Discord, of course, as always. But we do have some fun news about the merch shop, which is also in the description below, the link in there. We do have some fun news about that as well, and we're going to get into it right now. But Star Wars Politics says, I'm tampering expectations. Valid. The only reason Season 2, Episode 1 was good was because it was 50-plus minutes. Otherwise, I think it would have been filler. So here's the thing. It's true, it was kind of filler, but that was the most awesome filler I've ever seen in my life. Boba Fett's armor being worn by Cobb Vanth, them flying around fighting a freaking crate dragon was so cool. So yeah, it was like a movie almost. It was like a Mando short movie. It was awesome. Yeah, you're right, 50-plus minutes. So yeah, don't get your expectations too high, but get them really, really, really high so that they get let down, okay? Okay. No, but we do have some awesome news, and I want you guys to be here for it, because it's going to be insane. We are dropping a new shirt for The Mandalorian on the merch shop right now live. Let's do it. So I've already got it teed up. I've already got it created. We've already got an awesome shirt created. And here it is. So it's very small right there, and I can't really click on it. But here is it. Here it is. So yeah, here we go. 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 Launch listing. It is being launched right now. We're going to get a good look at it right now. Okay. Let's look at it. 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 All right, you ready? We're going to do this too. Ready? Mando, all caps, S, or no, we're just going to go with Mando 3. Mando 3, you're going to get 10% off. Activate. Boom. There you go. If you do Mando Season 3, or Mando 3, all caps, you will get 10% off this awesome shirt. Check this out. Check out this design. Obviously, it says, "This is the way." And obviously, you got a smiley face looking frog critter on there. Actually, the description says, "Enjoy Mando Season 3 in this is the way shirt with a weird green frog thing on it." Don't forget to enjoy Season 3 with a weird frog thing on it. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is awesome. I might actually do a sweatshirt with this thing on it, too. I mean, our design team out there, you know who you are. You really did a great job on this. Of course, Grogu's on everybody's freaking shirt anyway. Look down. He's on your shirt. So, yeah. Go check that out. We got, if you're a big Clone Force 99, if you're enjoying the Bad Batch Season 2, unlike others, there's a shirt there. We got these hats down here. But yeah, this is epic. And it just launched right now. You can get it small, medium, large, extra large, double XL, triple XL, or extra small. There you go. And you can get 10% off with Mando 3. Thought that would be a little fun thing to do live right there. Just post that live, because why not? Why not? Okay, we do have some other little bits of news here. Obviously, The Bad Batch also has an episode coming out tomorrow. We kind of talked about it at the beginning of the stream. We won't go into any of that because The Bad Batch, honestly, at this point is like a snooze fest, honestly. Like, who cares? At this point, who cares? But there has been more news regarding the Ahsoka show. Now, the Ahsoka show is likely to get a trailer at Star Wars Celebration. Now, it is almost all but confirmed to get a trailer at Star Wars Celebration. So now you're going to get excited at Star Wars Celebration by getting a Ahsoka trailer, hopefully an Ahsoka release date, and so much more news, hopefully regarding a Luke, Leia, and Han show as well. So here are the release dates for each episode. Here are the release dates for each episode. Now, this is not surprising at all. It's just 1 week after another. So this is the release date schedule. So tomorrow, the first chapter, or chapter 17, because it continues on. And then literally week. It's all just 1 week. 1 week in front of the next. So it'll run until April 19th. And then we got Jedi Survivor. And then Star Wars Celebration. So yeah. So there will be overlaps for 4 or 5 weeks. The first 5 weeks. With The Bad Batch Season 2. But honestly, who's watching The Bad Batch Season 2 over The Mandalorian? Tell me in the chat. Are you watching the Bad Batch Season 2 over The Mandalorian? Let me ask you, let me rephrase the question. Are you absolutely out of your mind? Have you lost your freaking mind? Because that would be insane. You'd actually have to be insane to actually want to do that. No. All right, you want to hear some Cara Dune news? Anybody? Cara Dune coming back? No. But the Mandalorian director breaks silence following Cara Dune's firing. So, speaking with Deadline, Star Wars director Rick Famuyiwa, I call him Rick Famuyiwa, and now I'm just realizing that might be incorrect, but whatever, I'm going to stick with what I usually say, And executive producer Dave Filoni spoke for the first time on Gina Carano's firing from The Mandalorian after playing the role of Cara Dune in the series' first 2 seasons. Well, Dune is still a part of the world off camera. Famuyama explained that the character came up often in discussions with show writer Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, making it clear that Din Djarin and Grogu are still at the heart of the show. So this is quoting him. Cara was a big part of, and continues as a character to be a part of the world. Now we just won't see her. It had to be addressed in the creative, and Jon Favreau took the time to think about that. It was something that was discussed as we knew it was going to have a huge impact on the show, but at the same time, what has been at the heart of the show are the 2 characters, Din Djarin and Grogu. So ultimately, it felt like a service of that and around the Mandalorians. So he's pretty much just saying in industry speak that she's gone, we have no say on that, and we have to keep the show moving without her. That's pretty much what he's saying. He's not saying either way. He's not trying to get fired or anything. He's not trying to comment on anything that Gina did, but he's just talking about the character of Cara Dune and how she was a stepping stone for Din Djarin. Like she was just there. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's kind of what it is. When asked if Dune is simply out of the universe bounty hunting, out in the universe bounty hunting, Dave Filoni explained that there are so many characters to touch on, but he called Dune a greater character and someone who is vital to Din Djarin's beginning. He says beginning because, again, we won't be seeing her anymore. It is a big galaxy, and we have so many characters in it. Many characters are fighting for their screen time. Get it? Fighting for their screen time? We'll just have to see as the seasons unfold what the adventures are. But it is a great character, someone who is vital to Din Djarin's beginnings, and we'll see if he has evolved beyond that. So pretty much what they're saying is, yeah, Cara Dune's not coming back ever. So yeah, just we'll leave it at that. Cara Dune's not coming back ever. But I mean, you never know. You never know. Dave Filoni's a loose cannon. Star Wars Politics says, bring back Gina. Honestly, I would be okay with it. I'd be all for it. Gina Carano was a great character. I mean, Cara Dune was a great character, and I hope to see more of her. I hope to see more of her. All right, we're gonna get on out of here. We are going to get excited for The Mandalorian season 3 that comes out in 6 hours. But I gotta ask, do we do a watch party? I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to think about it over these next 6 hours, whether or not we do one or not. And we'll figure it out as we go. All right? All right. I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the best. Of course, as always, smash the like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Get excited because I don't think that John and Dave are going to let us down on this one. I don't think so. I think we can get adequately excited and it won't be let down. I'm there. I'm all for it, and I'm there. Obviously, in the description below, go join that Discord if you want to talk some fun Star Wars with some fun Star Wars nerdy people. And of course, the merch shop, we just opened up a new shirt for The Mandalorian season 3. So go check that out. And may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for The Mandalorian season 3. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Oh, wait, are we still alive? Oh, hang on a second. Oh, we're still alive. Oh, how embarrassing. I'm so excited. Okay. Bye-bye.